My name is Ali Al-Karaguli. I'm a postdoctoral fellow at the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 4 habits that, if you can adopt, especially if you're an ADHDer, can make you not only a lot of money, help you in your career, grow in all areas of your personal life. It's just going to help you function really well as a human being. And as a result of that, you're going to develop really good self-esteem because you're going to be doing things right in your life. And these are things I personally employ in my own personal full-time job, as well as in my part-time business that I work on, as well as my other engineering YouTube channel, which has almost 100,000 subscribers. And I just apply this method to all areas of my life. And here's the thing, I'm going to tell you about habits that if you can start, they're going to be very easy to stick to, because not only am I going to tell you what the habit actually is, I'm going to tell you why it's going to help you. More importantly, I'm going to give you actionable steps such that right after this video, or maybe even during this video, you can start implementing them right away. Now, the very first one is basically looking at your calendar as much as possible. And this is huge for ADHD because a lot of ADHDers, they may some of them use calendar, some of them don't. If you're not using calendar as an ADHDer, I have no idea what you're doing. Why? Because people with ADHD struggle with something called time blindness, which means because of the executive dysfunction in your brain, the way your brain is wired, you have a hard time sensing the passing of time. And you have a hard time seeing that time is actually passing by and how much time is actually passing by. So while it does help, for example, to look at a clock often or to try to estimate how long tasks take, the easiest, clearest way to do it is to just have your calendar either open at all times or just be able to check it as often as possible. Maybe even have it the default screen in your Chrome. Now, what I have over here actually is I have 2 monitors, and one of my monitors is literally displaying my calendar at all times. Like, I'm not joking. I literally have 2 monitors, and one of them is just my calendar all the time. That way it's in my face all the time. Also on my phone, which is not near me, it's hiding somewhere. The very first thing I have in my phone is my Google Calendar widget, such that it's in my face all the time. Again, something that's very, very important, because like one of the simplest, easiest tweaks you can do to your productivity, so simple, is just by looking at your calendar more often, like literally looking at it, not even doing anything. You're going to have a bigger tendency to either interact with it or be reminded of something, or be like, you know what, maybe I should start scheduling things of that nature. If you want to go even to the next level and become even more productive, I would kill your to-do list altogether. Whatever to-do list you're using on Notion, TikTok, whatever app you're using, I would just kill it and just go straight to the calendar. So Google Calendar, here I can show you. Actually, it looks like has an integratable task list over here. If you go to the right, you have something called Google Tasks. And that's something it's basically like a to-do list. But what's different about this to-do list is that not only can you drag things and schedule it on your calendar, which adds urgency and adds time, it's integrated within your calendar. So just by having to look at it, you're looking at a calendar, which is amazing because, again, not only, like, most people write a long to-do list without thinking about the time it's going to take or when they're actually going to do it. By having a to-do list that's right next to your calendar, you're going to be able to immediately say, oh, okay, yeah, this is when I should do this is when I should do that, and so on. So yeah, calendar is habit number 1. Look at the calendar as much as possible. Maybe kill your to-do list, use the calendar altogether, skip everything, go straight to the calendar. That's going to help you with your time awareness. It's going to help you get a good sense of time, and it's going to help you be more productive. The other habit, it's not even like a habit, it's really like a simple system that you can set up, is basically controlling your sleep pattern. So the habit, in theory, is like waking up earlier and going to sleep a bit earlier as well. It's better for your circadian rhythm, and it's just better for your overall health. Even though I personally am a night owl, still, like, when I go to bed at like 4 a.m. Versus 2 a.m., if I go to bed at 2 a.m., then that's 2 hours earlier, which means I get to wake up 2 hours earlier and make more use of the morning when other people are awake and whatnot, which can be really, really good. But here's the thing. My trick for going to sleep earlier and waking up earlier has nothing to do with alarms, has nothing to do with anything like what people think. What I simply do is I use a thermostat in my house, which controls the temperature in the house. And around like 11 o'clock, I design it such that it drops and it gets like really, really cold. I program it such that around 11-ish, it goes like to like 66 degrees. And the house, like within the span of an hour between like 11 p.m. and midnight, starts getting really, really cold. And sometimes I don't even notice the temperature. I just feel like, man, I'm getting sleepy. Like, I should probably get to sleep soon. Like, and what's actually happening is because it's getting colder, my body's getting signals that, hey, you should go like get cuddled up in bed and go to sleep. And then likewise, I have the morning program such that around like 8:30 p.m., 8:30 a.m., it starts getting really warm. It becomes 72 degrees. And so over the night, I'm sleeping and I'm cozied up, and this has been proven that like colder temperatures lead to better quality sleep. And then once it gets warmer in the morning, then my body naturally starts waking up because the temperature has shifted, ideally gradually has shifted. And now I'm suddenly like, oh shit, it's really, really warm. What's going on? And then I wake up. And here's the trick. I wake up without an alarm. I rarely set an alarm. I try not to have anything that requires me to be like not absolutely missed when I wake up first day and first thing. And I usually wake up just fine, usually consistently around 9:30, at least at this current stage of my life, without an alarm. And that's because I just simply control the temperature in my house. So again, very underrated habit. Go to sleep a little bit earlier, wake up a little bit earlier. The way to implement it is pretty simple. Control the temperature in your house. Now, the third habit, which is, oh my God, this is so important. This is such an important one. This one, I actually got it from this guy. I don't know his name. I was on Twitter and I saw this video a long time ago. Brian Armstrong. Oh my God, action produces information. And by the way, this is me on X. I'll put a link over here if you want. This is where I share a lot of my ideas. But this video, oh my God, this video is so good because this guy, I learned something very valuable from him, which I call V0. Now I frame. He doesn't call it V0. I call it V0. I'm going to explain what that means. Basically, he says if you're an ADHDer, he doesn't talk about ADHD. Basically, what he says is in order for you to like know what the next step is, that you sometimes you don't know, you just got to do stuff. So the core of his video was just do stuff, and the road reveals itself. But the way I interpreted that for ADHDers, especially, is that if you because ADHDers have a tendency to not want to start things, you're kind of low on motivation. Then it's really, really tough to start things because you want to like have a clear plan and you want to know what you're doing and you don't want energy to be wasted and whatnot. And this mindset is like, well, don't do the task because you want to get it done. Instead, like just do the task. Like let's say this video right now. That's actually exactly how I decided to record this video because I was procrastinating for a bit. The default ADHD tendency, I was procrastinating it, and I told myself, well, I don't have to post this video. I'm just going to record it because in the process of recording it, I'm taking action and that's going to produce information. Maybe that's going to tell me something about the video. Maybe it's going to tell me about like why I should have recorded it differently. Maybe I recorded it and I don't want to post it at all. But the idea is that like it says do the thing anyway, and you're going to learn something. And once you learn something, then you decide what to do next. So it's kind of really nice because you're not always like overthinking what's going to happen at the very end. You're just saying, I'm going to take the step and I'm going to see what happens. And you're having faith that the information produced from the step in of itself is worth it, independent of whether the completion of the task yields you the long-term goal that you have. So the way I usually talk about it in iteration is when you're building something, you build the first version, V1, and then you build a version 2, and then a version 3, and you just keep iterating. The reason I call this V0 is this is like version 0. Like I'm not even recording a version 1. I'm literally just like taking an action just to get myself used to taking the action. Just like in this case, this YouTube video, I turn on my ring light. I'm talking to my microphone. I have this block diagram and I'm just giving it a shot. This is literally my V0 right now. It doesn't have a lot of preparation because I'm basically just telling myself, okay, I know exactly what the concept is. I know what to say. I know what the 4 habits I'm going to talk about are. Instead of sitting here and either procrastinate or overthink how I'm going to go about this video, let me just record it and see how it goes. And if it's good enough that it helps someone, then great. And that's all I got to do. And that's amazing. If I record it and I find out that it really, really sucks and it's definitely not going to help people, then I go and re-record it again. But both of these outcomes are definitely better than sitting around and doing nothing, especially if you're feeling anxious or like your perfectionism is kicking in. So anyway, that's kind of the idea behind it. Now, the very 4th habit, especially again, if you're an ADHDer, and this is again, something that has helped me a lot in my business, especially my part-time business, is to switch from long-term thinking to short-term thinking. Now, hear me out because this goes against the advice of all gurus. All gurus are like, it's all about the long game, long-term thinking, all that. And I totally agree with that 100% when it comes to setting like your goal. Like when you're setting a long-term goal, that's something like you do once or like you do once in a while, or at least you revisit, I don't know, maybe once a week and you kind of remind yourself of the long-term goal. But you don't obsess over the long-term goal. If you're an ADHDer, you're motivated by short-term things, short-term rewards. That's why addictions are a big problem because addictions are very instantly rewarding. If you're grabbing your phone and you're addicted to it, you're just pressing a button and within a split second, you're getting a reward. If you're addicted to fast food and you're eating the food, you're instantly getting the dopamine release. You're getting those molecules that make you feel good. The feel like it's an instant feedback loop. But something like in 30 years, I'm going to be the greatest and the person, blah, blah, blah. In 40 years, I'm going to be remembered as like, like these things are nice for like direction setting. But if you're an ADHDer, they're a lot less likely to motivate you. So what's likely to motivate you? What's likely to motivate you is very, very short-term thinking. For some people, like very short-term rewards work, which is, for example, let's say, I don't know, it's 12 a.m. right now, it's midnight. And I could tell myself, okay, if I record this video, I can go make myself a nice cup of decaf coffee with cream afterwards. That's something, for example, I personally enjoy. Or I can tell myself, okay, I really enjoy making music. Well, in order for me to make music, let me first just record this video, get out of the way, and then I'm gonna go ahead and have the music after. That's an example of a short-term reward. But obviously, that's an external reward that you don't want to rely on too much. You want inherent reward of the task in of itself. So then you can again rely on something else, which is if I record this video right now, I'm gonna feel better about myself after. For example, what I actually used to record this video was again this idea of V0, and I motivated myself internally by telling myself, okay, I wasn't thinking about like how this video is gonna help me change the world or like help me achieve my long-term grand visions or anything. All I was thinking about this video is, okay, this video is important. It has an important message that I need to use to help other people. And just by going ahead and recording it, I'm going to feel really good about myself because I've done it. So that's motivation number one. Motivation number two is I won't like, I don't need to post this, but it's going to be added to my vault of unreleased stuff. For example, I have a poster of Prince right behind me. He's a musician from decades ago, and he was very inspirational. Something about him that inspired me is that majority of his content was unreleased. Like 90% of his music was unreleased. And his mindset was just go ahead and get work done and get in the habit of getting work done and record things. And like, you don't have to release all of them. If anything, one of the things that are badass about him is that he has a vault of all his unreleased stuff. And to me, that's something that's very, very cool. So in my head, I'm like, okay, like something that motivated me is that like by recording this video right now, I'm going to add one video to my vault like right now, and I'm going to feel good about myself, and I have nothing better to do around this time. Like this is a very important thing I need to get out of the way. So all these things like this kind of short-term thinking has shifted me to be a lot more motivated. Now I actually like revisit my long-term goal. Like, I mean, I know it very, very well, but like I only visit it like maybe once a week. And for the rest of the week, I'm just very short-term thinking, short-term focused. And when I say short-term, I mean like really, really short-term. Like I don't even mean the whole day. Like, I mean, like just like right now, like, okay, obviously the night before or in the morning, you want to make a plan, you want to figure out what you want to work on, but you want to just think like, I have this task in front of me that's very important. And well, okay, why should I do it? Okay, well, if I do it, then insert short-term reward. And you remind yourself of that. And you remind yourself that there's no downside and you just go ahead and get started. And the more you get in the habit of doing that, it's a mental habit, the more like taking first steps and initiating tasks is going to become like a second nature. You're not going to have to like do anything crazy to do it. And yeah, again, all these things, like, especially if you're an ADHD, they really, really help. The higher up you are on the ADHD spectrum, in my opinion, the more short-term focused you should be. Now, obviously, in order for you to do that with confidence, you need to know what to work on next at all times, and you need to have clarity over your goals. And what I did is I have a video I made a long time ago where I explain my personal productivity system of how you can have clarity on your goal, always know what to work on next, learn how to use the calendar, set a schedule, and actually stick to it, and then be able to sit down. So, for example, this kind of short-term thinking is an example of self-talk, like a mental heuristic that I described to you. I have a video that's going to show up somewhere here, or I'll put it in the description, which dives a lot deeper in that. So I'd encourage you to go ahead and watch it. That being said, I will see you guys there. Peace, love.